It's Lo from Custom Creations by Lo. Today I want to try to make a tea lamp or light similar to ones I've done in the past. Repurposing this is Renuzit, but I previously used Glade gel aromatics or deodorizers. As you can see, there is some of the dried out air freshener here on it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to disassemble this, try to cut this out, and we'll go from there. Now, the good thing about doing this is not only can you get something that's cute, very inexpensive, but it also is going to continue to smell good for a while because it's got the lingering scent of whatever this was. And I think this one was fresh linen because I don't like fruity smells. I don't like sweet smells or vanilla. I like the clean scents and that kind of thing. So I have out my heated cutter because this is pretty thick. And I'm hoping that this will cut through it. I don't know. We'll see. You know, the best creations are from those that are totally unplanned. And I've been wanting to do this because I've said, I like to repurpose things. And again, it cost me, I think, $1 or $2 originally. And our first goal is to get off this hard, dried out air freshener that was gel. So, well, that came out pretty easy. Just took the top off, and looking inside it, there is some kind of, stuff in there, which I'll clean out with some alcohol. Does smell really good, though. Gotta tell you that. So let's take, because my soldering iron or solder cutter, whatever you want to call it, I forget what it's called, is heating up. So let's go ahead and take some alcohol. Let's see if we can get these pieces out of here. Okay, there's the very top. That's good. These are a little more involved than a Glade. The Glades are pretty, simple. Not that these aren't, but the Glade doesn't involve, if I recall correctly, as many steps as this one does. Now, it is a hard plastic, so keep that in mind, because if we decide to cut this in any form or fashion, we will have to use this because it is heated, and kind of go from there. But again, smell in the inside, you can smell that leftover scent, which again, it's not a bad thing. Spray a little more alcohol in here. See if we can get this rest of the residue off. And even using that alcohol, it's 91%, which is making my nose all stuffed up. Did bring it out, but you can still smell that fresh linen scent, so that's good. Let's go ahead and clean the outside of it, because what my intention is, we will need this cleaned. So I hope that everybody is having a wonderful weekend. I know here in our area, we're expecting a lot of rain, and we've had rain off and on the last few days, and some storms that's went rolling through, thanks to the, I guess, hurricanes that are out there, or tropical storms. So, yeah. All right, so that was the inside piece. Let's check out the actual top. Looks like a little something shiny on there, but I don't know if we can get that off or not. If not, then, no biggie. Yeah, it's not coming off. So let's go ahead and just clean that with our alcohol. Because again, whatever we do with this, we're going to need it clean so anything we do adheres to it. And again, it also does have the scent to it. So this, just if you wanted to see, this piece here was the top piece, and if you push it down hard enough, it snaps in, and then that inside piece snaps into this. All right, so here's the hard part, is can we get this off? I know when I've done the Glades, they were pretty simple to get off. What you see me doing right now is just peeling off a super thin skin that was on there from the gel. Smells good. So I'm just taking my nail and lightly raking over that to get that off. A little bit flew in the inside, so I blew it out. Okay, so that's that. There's a little bit of alcohol in here, so it's let me gather up that very, very thin skin that was on there without getting it everywhere. So there's a slit right here where it dried. I don't know if you can see that or not. It's kind of in there, but there's a little tiny slit right there. And I'm going to try to take our heated knife, see if we can go through that without damaging the skin. Oh, okay, it might. Again, because this was a gel, it's not going to be easy, but I think it may work. So what I'll do is just, you can see what I'm doing. I'm taking it, I said it's very hot, and I'm going to put you on a fast forward so we can get this off, because it will be noisy and annoying for me to keep you on camera, so hang on tight. Okay, so I got it off. That is what was here. And we used our little heat cutter there. Almost dropped it on the carpet and almost dropped it on my toe, but everything's good, so thank you. I am going to try to adjust that. There we go. Clean off our mess here. This is just a little trimmings from this. And like I said, the good thing is that whatever we do with this, it's going to have a wonderful scent. And again, if my memory serves correctly, this was fresh linen, only because that's what it kind of reminds me of. Now, in removing this, I did accidentally hit the side with this, which of course it's super hot, so it melted it. I don't think it's going to make any difference in whatever we end up doing with this. I'm going to take a little alcohol here and clean that out, because there's a little, little tiny pieces or chips or whatever you want to call it. Now, I don't really have a plan for this, but I'm thinking what I want to do is to take some UV resin, mix up, whoops, there went my UV resin, by the way, mix up some color in it, some sparkle, and maybe some glow-in-the-dark resin or powders, so we can do this outside piece, and then use these stickers. These are some really pretty Peacock stickers, and I'm thinking something like that, especially on the, let's see, I'm going to consider this side, the front, and if we take something like that around and do that, I think that would be really pretty. And then we can decide if we're going to cut in lighted holes. So the first thing I want to do is just take my little battery operated tea light here. It's not overly strong, just to kind of give me an idea of placement. Because what we'll end up doing is trimming this down about here so it's level with this top, and we'll use this again to cut that off because it's just faster, and we'll put our tea light to sit on top of it. So with the tea light, like I said, it's not overly strong, but you can see it gives it a nice glow. Let me turn my light off so maybe you can see a little more of that. Wouldn't that be pretty? And then, like I said, we will take our stickers here. And let's get a pair of scissors, because I need to cut one off anyway. So I'm just going to cut it to give you an idea of what this may look like. Bought these stickers off Temu probably 2 years ago, somewhere around there. They do last long. They're not DTF, but they work real well. So here's our top with the tea light, and you can kind of see how that's going to glow. Isn't that pretty? And then if we have some glow-in-the-dark appropriate color, it will help that glow even more. I'm going to do a test spot of the glow-in-the-dark before I commit to doing the whole thing, because I don't want to detract from this peacock and whatever else may put on it. So let's go ahead. I'm going to mix up a little bit of the UV and do a test spot so we can see how that works or how it looks. So I've got that other side. Let me get some gloves, because y'all know I am super allergic, apparently, to, or my hands, to UV resin. Not had a problem with epoxy resin or anything like that. It's just this UV resin. And I wear 2 pairs of gloves. Now, I did find out, or research, heavier duty nitrile gloves. And the boxes that I have of these and the light blue ones does not say what mil they are. So I went on Amazon and I ordered me some 8 mil, which is supposedly the strongest. So that hopefully I'm only having to use one pair. Oops, sorry about that. Versus 2 pairs, because these don't have a mil rating on them, nor do the light blue. And I think that could be some of the problems. So if I can get some that are heavier duty, save myself some money and not having to use 2 pairs. Alright, so again, this is the Lich Resin, UV Resin, hard type. Well, oops, wrong bottle. That was a soft type, and we don't want that. Nor do we want that one. Let's see, that was the black. Alright, so we won't use the UV resin, I guess. We'll just use this UV resin hard type clear. This is a Hobby Lobby brand. Again, this is just going to be a test piece. I've got out a disposable brush. And I'm just going to mix a little bit in there just so we can test it. And let me grab a glow in the dark. We'll grab one of the Lich Resin UV. And I'm thinking, let's see, that's going to be blue. What if we do a matching color of the Lich Resin blue glow in the dark? And see how that works out. Now, I do know the other day I was using these Lich Resin mica powders, and I had not opened them. And when I went to use them, they were very chunky. And it took me some doing to make sure that they didn't have any chunks. So what I'm doing right now is just making sure that I don't have any little chunky bits, because that was very annoying. They would not dissolve. I had to smash and smash them against the mixing cup I was using. So, all right. We'll do it like that. Stir that in. Because again, what I'm thinking is, if I like this color against that sticker, then we'll use it. If we don't, then we'll get it off, because I haven't sanded that at all. So hopefully we'll be able to get it off pretty easy. Go and put the lid back on that. Mix this up just a little more, like, you know, you can see that is like not even a teaspoon that I've mixed up. Let me grab a wipe. Hold tight. Now the thing is, anything that I touch with UV resin, even if it's my trash, I have to make sure that I don't touch it with bare skin. Okay, so this is our piece. Again, this is just going to be the front. And I'm going to guesstimate where our, there it is, our sticker may be, so you can see those two colors. And I'm going to take just a little bit of this. Did I clean this with alcohol? I don't think so, I did. Let me do that, really? Do that really, really quick. All right, I give up. just so that we can make sure it does what it's supposed to do correctly. There's no fish eyes on there from where I've touched it without gloves. Like I said, I have not sanded this down. Didn't get that up because I know me, I'll end up touching it. Okay. So we're just going to paint a little bit of that on, kind of like that. Hopeful that it will kind of stick. As I said, I have not sanded this, so I can already see that it's trying to separate out there. But I'm going to try to do it quick enough that we can avoid that. We're going to cure it with my dual-sided UV lamp. It is not a major brand one. It is an off-brand, the same one I've been using. So it works very well. I cannot complain about that. So until it stops working, I am not going to buy another one. I have several UV lights. This is the only dual-sided one. I do have a single-sided one, made for nails, but this one I bought specifically for doing UV resin. I'm going to hide that a little bit in case we're going to use it. It's a done cure. Okay, yeah, so it's still tacky, still a little bit more. And I don't know if you could see that. See how it kind of separated because there's been no sanding on it. So we'll see how that does. And it may be we don't need a UV light. I mean UV glow-in-the-dark, or glow-in-the-dark powders. I just thought it would be kind of cool, and see if it really, if it needed it. And like I said, it may or may not. But this is what it's about. It's about experimenting and trying it. I hate these purple gloves. For whatever reason, they came in as a large. I don't wear a large. And if I don't like wearing gloves. I've said this in other videos. If I have to wear gloves, I want them to fit to my fingers to where I'm not constantly doing this and adjusting them, because I hate that little wrinkly tip, especially if I'm trying to do something that needs a smooth end. And these being large, I didn't want to waste them, so I'm trying to use them, but man, they're annoying. So I hope the new gloves I ordered that are 8 ml, they're medium, and I hope that they're not too big. I may have to downsize to a small, but we'll see. We will see. All right. So, all right. So that, as you can see, it did separate. It is cured. Where's my other one? I mean, because it's not, I don't know if it'll glow in the dark or not, but let me turn this light off so we can see. I'm not really seeing it, and let's try this. Maybe just because it's separated, but I mean, you can see when I put the UV light on it, it's doing something, but I don't know. What do y'all think? Unfortunately, I can, just like I was thinking, I can peel that right off. So we're going to go ahead and do that. See, that's peeling right off, just like it was a little super, super thin, crispy cookie. So we didn't damage it or affect what we're doing. See that? And because of the static, it's just attaching itself to whatever. So let's go ahead and get that off. We'll clean it off again with alcohol. See, when I did my other ones years ago, a couple years ago, I guess, I wasn't into resin. I didn't use UV resin or any kind of resin for that matter. I think I used Mod Podge, some stickers, the tea lights. I ended up cutting out some of the plastic so it shined more. So let me go ahead and let that cure. And clean this up and rethink it. See, how did that get on there? I'll go ahead and spread some alcohol in there so we can clean it. All clean. Cheap little brush, but it cleaned up well. That's good. So I'm gonna have to think about this. But while we're thinking, let me go ahead and plug this back in so I can go ahead and trim off that part. All right, so we'll let that heat up again. We'll let that finish curing. While I think about this. Now, I'm tempted to try one of the other resins to see if it works any differently from this Hobby Lobby. This is not my favorite UV resin. I can tell you that just from having used it on other projects. It really isn't. See how nicely that peeled out? But, and here I have to go to do these gloves again because they keep trying to slide off my fingers. Gosh, it is so annoying. Super, super annoying. If anybody knows of better fitting gloves at a decent price, please let me know, because this is one of my pet peeve things, one of my things. I have a lot of patience for a lot of things. This is not one of them. Not at all. Okay. Hey, see, oh, I mean, that's ridiculous. All right. I'll stop wiping. Sorry. So let's go ahead and get this piece here because this heats up pretty quick. And we are going to cut it down. Like I said, there's a line here. We're going to cut it down just about this far. I want it about even. And there I touched the side of it again with that. So let's just put our little knife point in there. If it gets a little lower, that's fine. I'm trying not to touch the side of here, which, you know. It's going to be hidden anyway, so if I do, well, then I do. You want to try to cut it as evenly as you can so that little tea light will set on it, you know, balanced. And I'm just doing this slow. It melts down through there. I mean, I can always take this and just roll it along the top of where I've accidentally touched it. But again, it's not going to be seen, so... Okay. Okay, we got that off, and then what I'll do is just go around it again, try to make it even. I really damaged this side. It's hard to remember to keep it lifted up off the side when you're trying to cut the inside. All right. We're just going to take this knife tip. There's a little piece there. Okay, it's pretty level. So now what I'm going to do, since I've destroyed these sides, I'm just going to take this, see if I can even it out a little bit. Like I said, it's not going to be seen, so it's no big deal. This is just a little something you can do at home, just for simple, easy decorations. Or when I made them a few years back, it was for Christmas gifts. But like I said, I used the Glade disposable gels, and I didn't have to worry about doing all this. So if you get those, you won't have to worry about finagling like this. But since I have this one, this is one we're using, we'll try to do it the best we can. Is it going to be perfect? No, man. Just kind of smoothing it out a little bit. We're not going down too far because we want to keep this little screw edge so the top fits on it. I'm just taking off where the little areas where I made the boo-boos. Kind of smoothing it out a little bit. Is it smoking? Oh, yes it is. But we're almost done. You might want to do this outside if you don't have good ventilation. Thankfully, I have good ventilation up here where I'm at. Alright, we're going to leave it at that. We're going to let it cool down. Again. Alright, we'll set it here so it can cool down properly before we put it up. Maybe. But I'll set up. Okay, so oh, these gloves. Oh, they annoy me so bad. Alright, so there is the top part. Now, if you want, you can take something and, you know, maybe some double-sided tape to set on there. But this is what you're going to be looking at. As far as lighting. Now you could put some, what do they call them, fairy lights in here. That would light it up even more. I may try that too. You could put them in the bottom. But like I said, the reason we didn't do all the way down is because, we'll take that out right now. This little screws size here, you want to put your top back on there. I have to squeeze it in, kind of twist it the way it's supposed to. Oopsie daisy. There we go. Match it up, twist it back the way it's supposed to be, say like that, so that it's snug. I'm going to turn off the light for right now. Okay. I'm just going to take my hands here, clean that off. None the worse for wear. Now what we have to decide is how we're going to do this outside. I like these little lines down here they have at the bottom. Because the center does not match up between two of them, which is what I was looking at. Because I would really like the center here line to go equal measure, but it doesn't. And the lines are kind of off. I just have to work with it the way it is. So I'll come back once I figure this out because I want to get these lines well. So we'll be back. So what I thought we would do is try painting this with Mod Podge and then seeing what will adhere to it. So let's go ahead and get that. I'm going to pour some in my little cup over here, if I can get it open. I've shook it up really well. Just going to squeeze a little bit out here because I don't think we'll need a whole lot. And this is in a different bottle than what the Mod Podge comes in because it's just easily squirtable, so I just labeled it. Got the same brush we used for the UV resin trial, just so we can try it. So let's see how that goes. Guess I can take out that top piece because it's just getting on my nerves. It won't take this long to dry, but I'm hoping that we can get it on there so where our stickers or anything else we want to put on there. I don't think it's going to. It looks like it's trying to repel it as well. So I think we're going to definitely have to scrub this up. I don't even want to waste time on it. Even if I take my finger and do that, that's still going to be, yeah, it's repelling it. So we're just going to have to scrub it up whether we want to or not. Yeah, that's what we're going to have to do. We're just going to have to take that off, scrub it up, and see if it repels. Hold on just a second, folks. I'll be right back. Okay, folks, so I went to find my sanding box. This is a 220. So I'm just going to go around this, give it a light scrubbing up so that hopefully something will stick to it. I am not going to keep you on because that noise would be very abrasive. So I will start it here and then I will come back once it's done. So just for a few minutes, we're just going to take this, lightly sand that off, just kind of like that. All right, so I'm going to scrub it up. Hopefully something will stick to it, and I'll bring you back at the end. See you in a few. Okay, so I got it all sanded. I went over it several times if I saw any places that were still shiny. So now we're going to get some paper towels, wash it down with some alcohol. I have 91% isopropyl alcohol. I do have some 99% ordered just because I want to see for myself if there is a difference between the 91 and 99 other than the price. So we're going to take this, wash it down. Should we try the UV resin again on it first, or should we just go with the Mod Podge? What do y'all think? Let me know in the comments which you would do. Since I already have some Mod Podge still, oopsie daisy, sorry, here in my little mixing cup, I will probably go ahead and try that just to see if it spreads better. All right, I think we got that really cleaned off. I don't see any like shiny spots. There are, you know, I mean, it's not dull for any means, but I just want to get that very top layer of shiny off. I know you know that you're probably thinking, wow, it's a lot of work just for a little plastic thing, but if you're going to do something, do it right. You know, do it well. So let me put my gloves back on. And yeah, I got UV resin on my hands yesterday and it is broke out, but again, I did order some 8mm gloves. I'm hoping that I won't have to use 2 pairs, but since I'm just doing the Mod Podge right now, I'm only going to put 1 pair on. Sorry, I knocked everything out. Alright, get this out of our way. And let's see, I think I'm going to try to use my finger because I think perhaps, maybe, you know, these gloves not fitting perfectly, they may work better versus a brush, which can leave little fibers, you know, behind, you know, whether they're real brush bristles or plastic. So I just figure I'll just try my finger first. So I'm just you know, trying to get this brush that I had used with the Mod Podge as clean as I can. So if I do have to use it, that Mod Podge is not, you know, drying in there, making it harder. So just put some on the bristles, rubbing my thumb over it, kind of. I don't know if you can see that or not, but just rubbing my thumb into it, my nail, just kind of breaking it loose. And it's not an expensive brush by any means, but, you know, if you can save something, why not? All right. So here's our Mod Podge. With my little gloves situated on my fingers, because we've already had that discussion, right? And I'm just going to do, again, just a little test area, see what we come up with. And it'll let us know if that's going to work, or if, you know, sanding it that lightly helped it. So let's go to the front where we'll be working at. Oh yeah, friends, that is so much smoother. It's not separating. It'll give us a nice base for whatever we're putting on it. So we're going to continue with it. Thank you, Father above. Thank you, thank you. I'm not going to go over it a lot. I'm just going over it to where I see that it's smooth. Because, you know, you don't want any globby areas or anything like that. It's kind of like finger painting. Remember when you were kids and you finger painted and how it felt so cool because it was slick and movable, and, you know, I think some of us, that memory is what helps us decide on crafting later on, because your imagination is unlimited, you know, especially as a child. You know, we as adults, you know, we get so focused and centered on things and how things should be, and you know, children don't. They just like, oh yeah, this is great, and they just go for it enthusiastically, wholeheartedly. And us adults, you know, we're like, well, what if it does this, and what if it does that, what if it doesn't work, you know? And we let ourselves rule our creative side, and I don't like doing that. That's one reason I like to repurpose stuff like this. And yeah, like I said, this is a lot of work for this little plastic piece, but my mind, the way I like to think, and some of you may or may not remember when I said that I was a professional clown. So I like fun things. I like to enjoy life, you know, and now that I'm retired, again, my imagination is limitless. I can do pretty much what I want to do. Will everybody like it? No. Does that bother me? Not at all. You either like it or you don't. And if you don't, then, well, please feel free to move on. This may not be the place for you, because I'm not a professional at anything really that I do other than what my past job was. But like I said, I'm retired. So, yeah. Crafting for me is my relaxation. You could call it one of my vices if you want. But it's just, lets me do me. And I've done crafts all my life. I've done so many different ones, and I've said it in previous videos. Every Christmas when I was at work, I created new things. And those were the gifts that I would give my coworkers and peers, because they were unique, they were one of a kind, and they were created by me. So they knew that it was my love, my giving, that I was given to them. You know, so yeah, don't let our society today determine what you want to do in your crafts, because there's no fun in that. And they may or may not be perfect, kind of like what I'm working on right now. But it's okay. You created it. If you like it, then that's all that matters. So this Mod Podge is drying really quickly. And I am so glad that I was able to find my sanding stones or bricks, because what a difference this is making. I need to put a little more in here, and then we will let that all completely dry. My tendency is to keep going round and round and round, but I can see where I'm hitting it over and over, and it's getting, kind of, yeah. So I'm going to stop myself and just let it sit there and dry. What I'm debating right now is if I should also sand the bottom and go ahead and paint it with Mod Podge. But it's not shiny, so I haven't yet quite decided on that. I am going to take a look at it again. I'm going to spray my hands though with some alcohol because, ooh, that Mod Podge is sticky. And I don't feel like getting another pair of gloves out, so. I mean, I could, because like I said, I'm trying to use up these big gloves. Lord, Father Jesus, give me strength. Give me patience for these, because I don't want to waste them. But man, are they annoying. Ugh. Look, that's just ridiculous. Alright, I'm done. I'm done griping. Trying to get not getting my new bottle spray here. This continuous spray bottle. All junked up with resin and all that stuff. So, when I spray it. Alright. I'll let that be that. And let's have a look at our bottom. So it's not shiny, but we'll do a test with it before we decide with this leftover Mod Podge that I have to see if it just smears or if it actually accepts it. First thing we're going to do, of course, is wipe down our bottom. Just make sure that it's clean. And then we'll take our masked finger. No, it will not sing. Well, I mean, I could make it sing. Ooh, 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 ooh. Ooh. Nah, we won't do that. Not in my right singing voice right now, so we'll just not do it, if that's okay with you all. Alright, so like I said, it's not shiny, it's kind of glossy, so I'm thinking we probably will need to sand that down if we want to do anything, but let's go ahead and test that theory out, because I could be wrong. No, we'll have to sand it down because see, you can see it separating. It is not going to stick well, so we'll just go ahead and wipe it off. And I will sand it down while this is drying, and I will once again mute you out because I'm sure you don't want to hear that. Hang on. friends, just coming back. I did get this painted with the Mod Podge, and I let it sit so it completely dry. So now perhaps we can try what I was wanting to do previously with some UV resin. We sanded it down, then I painted it with the Mod Podge. So let me find my little mixing cup, the UV resin, sorry to set a few things on my way there. All right. Just going to do a little bit till I see if this works rather than mix up a bunch. Because what I may do is just attempt to do a clear coat first. Or maybe we should do a glitter in it. Let's do that. May need to use one that I have plenty of in case we like it. This is Recollections Extra Fine glitter. Bought it at Michael's. This is called Snow, appropriately enough. So we're just going to put a little bit in here. Not a whole lot. Like I said, until we see how this does. So no sense in making a lot of it. Just give that a little bit of a stir. Got a rogue piece of, it looks like red glitter in there. And a blue, oh no, blue's on the outside. Spread just a little bit more because that's going to be hard to see. It looks like that Mod Podge was the trick. See, it's not separating. So that's awesome. So we'll go ahead and let that sit there while I mix up some more since we see it's going to work. Get a wipe. Just take my little torch here and pop in the bubbles. My long handle lighter passed away, unfortunately. No longer in the lighting business. Bless its heart. All right. We'll do some and then we'll cure it. Okay, we'll go ahead and cure that. I'm not doing it heavy or anything. I'm just doing a light coat. It's enough that we can go ahead and rotate it around. I can get my fingers to work. There we go. Just trying to make sure that it's even up and down the side so we don't have like splotchy areas. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put you on a little bit of a fast forward so you don't have to keep watching me do this. So we'll be right, move you right along. Hang on. do a complete cure in there, and I'm going to use the extra glitter that we have mixed up here, or UV resin, in a new mold I just made. And I tested it the other day, and it was absolutely gorgeous. So let's see what we can do with it. Poke around here. This mold was made it's Nick Pro silicone rubber, but the piece that I used to create the mold, it was actually a backless brooch. I'm sorry, brooch. I don't know why I want to always say a brooch when I know full well that it's a brooch, which I'll show you once we get this out, so you can see how well you think I did on making this mold. My test piece turned out, it was very pretty, very shiny, which is what I wanted it to do. And just a little bit of clear resin in here, just to make sure we fill it up. We're not doming it because we all know that hand poured or trim molds, you shouldn't. All right, get my little torch again. There's a little bit of bubbles in there. And we'll let that cure up, and we'll check it out. See what y'all think about it. And then we'll continue on with our little light project here. Being made from a Renuzit Gel Air Freshener. Just as a reminder, in case you didn't watch the first part of the video. We've got a few little areas there, still need some touch curing on it. Thought I had a bubble there, but then I realized it's just the way the light's shining on it. Let's put some alcohol on that. Go ahead and clean it while we're sitting here waiting. Okay, that's all good. Alright, so that's that. Let's go ahead and set that in there. Let it do its thing while we look at this. Alright. Alright, so you can see it does have the glitter in there. It's not overly noticeable just because the background's white. But for me, what I am hoping that we do with this will work out to our advantage. Okay. this out of our way for right now. And also, in case you missed the first part of the video, this was what was left on in the air freshener, you know, like that. And we cut off this tall piece from the bottom, so we were going to make it to be our little stand to hold our tea light, like that. Alright, let me put this glitter out of my way. Now I did also paint the bottom with the Mod Podge. I wasn't sure what I was going to do to it. But I think I know, and it'll be something that will be a tedious project. And I'll start with you and then put you on fast forward again. Sorry. To do it completely, because it will take a while. So what I'm thinking about doing is getting some rhinestones that will coordinate with our sticker that's going to be on here, and bling it up. So that's my thinking process as of this moment. What do y'all think about that idea? Alright, let's check out our sticker. Again, these are not DTF, they're just regular stickers. I don't know if that's the particular one I'm going to use. That's kind of what we're going for. And once we get the stickers on, we will have to put some UV resin over top of it, which is one of the biggest reasons I wanted to get this back on, so that we didn't have to worry about it sticking. I'm trying to decide if I want that one or if I want the more circular one, which is this one. Yeah, definitely some more circular one. I don't know if y'all can see that or not, but definitely that one. That'd be really nice if this front lined up with this here, but it does not. And I'm trying to stay in line with that, but it'll be more at a point. Like that. Oops. Like that. Trying to get these off of the backing with gloves is really not the easiest thing to do. Let's see if I fold this, it'll end up here. May have to take my gloves off to do this. Yeah, I think we just got it. Yeah. Now I'm gonna need to set this up on a cup so I can get it eye level for me. Now sometimes when you're working on a curved surface, you might have to make a little cut either at the bottom or on the side. So you don't get bubbles. I know when I do tumblers, you know, sometimes those wraps don't like to wrap so clearly. And this is why I got this out, so I could put just a little cut in there. One little bit there. I'll get another knife out. This one is not doing the trick. Here we go. A bit one still there. Here. What do you think? Pretty good, huh? Okay. Pretty sure these aren't DTFs. That's just because I've never been able to take that off before, so let's just see. Probably messing up by doing this, but never know until we try it, right? Get that little edge. Nope, sticker comes up with it, so it's not. All right, so that's that. I'm going to leave that up. We might need it. And just take a little break from that real quick. Go over here and check out how my little mold did. Let's see. I think it might need a little more curing in there. But if you can see, this is the mold. And I will show you. This is the housing I used to make the mold in, along with another one. So you're getting bonus things today. And that wasn't even planned. So this is what I made the mold of. It's just a little pearl brooch. See, I did it again. Nope, doesn't have pin, a back on it, as far as like a pin or anything. Just the jewel itself. And I did a test one yesterday, like I said, and it turned out really pretty. That was it. Nice and shiny and sparkly. Okay. Now we're going to put some more flowers and things in here because it is kind of barren. And I'm thinking something, let's see. That side. What do you think about that? All right, so there is this one that we just did. Pretty, huh? I'm not really fond of it with just that glitter color in it, but it is pretty. All right, so what I'm going to do, again, I'm going to put you on a fast mode so we can get these stickers on. Otherwise, I'll be here all day, and I know you don't want to be here. So, hold tight. Folks, I apologize. I I'm going to have to go back to this video because I thought it's this entire last 20-30 minutes that I was recording. And I happened to look up and saw that my screen was black on my camera. So I'm hopeful that it recorded most of it before whatever happened. What I've been doing is I have mixed up some UV resin and this ultrafine light blue glitter that has hints of gold, pink, green, the colors in our peacocks. And I put one coat of it, cured it with UV light, and did a second coat of the same just to make sure we have those stickers covered. It's now in my UV light again, and wow, I certainly hope once I go back to my videos that when I'm editing that I didn't miss all that. If so, I do apologize. I guess we'll find out in the video once I get it done. Several things that I had mentioned was the fact that, you know, if you have a UV light or other pieces of equipment, make sure you put your gloves on. Make sure you leave the plastic like I have here on your lights and things, so that, you know, if you do have resin or whatever in your hand, that plastic will protect it. I've not had this happen before, so kind of annoys me, kind of upsets me, because I shared a lot of information, but mostly it was just doing the second coat of the UV, and why we did a second coat, which the reason we did a second coat is because sometimes when you're doing you know, UV resin and stuff, it can be a little sticky, but you just want to make sure that everything is, you know, covered appropriately. Like the stickers, there were a few pieces that were sticking out, so I did a second coat just to make sure they were definitely covered. I think there may still be one or two spots that it is still sticking out, but again, this is a repurposed item. And the reason I wanted to do this project is because, you know, when I first started my channel, I said I like to repurpose items. And